Hey folks, 5 Minute Maintenance episode 19, and today is all about you runners. We're going to be doing a really simple hip and hamstring opener, perfect as a pre-run warm-up or any time throughout your day just to get those hips and hamstrings a little bit looser, moving a bit more freely. Welcome back to 5 Minute Maintenance. This is just 5 minutes to carry out a little bit of crucial maintenance on your body, assess and address any issues you might have, and get yourself feeling nice and loose and supple. If you are new here, please just take a second to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give my Facebook page a like. That way, any new content comes along, you're the first to see it. Okay, today we are going to be doing a really simple hip and hamstring opener for runners. It's going to be nice and dynamic, so it's going to be perfect as a pre-run warm-up. It's also going to be great to put in any time throughout your day though. Stiff hips and hamstrings is something I see a lot in injured runners, so just taking 5 minutes out of your day to loosen things up is going to be really worthwhile. Okay, we're going to start off with some leg swings by the wall. The first ones we're going to do are some lateral leg swings. So just using the wall for a bit of support and balance, we're going to just be swinging that leg across in front of us and out to the side. Let it swing like a pendulum, using that momentum, opening up the inside of the hip, but not forgetting to use the full range of motion both ways. So as it swings across in front, open up the outside of the hip, and when it swings out to the side, opening the inside of the hip. Just trying to get it to swing a little bit higher each time. Just doing about 12 to 15 of these, and then we're going to swap over and do the other side, the other leg. Remembering to get full range of motion all the way across in front, all the way up to the side. And again, about 12 to 15 of these. And then we're going to do some forward and backward leg swings. So you might need to use the wall for some balance for this one. And we're just going to start by swinging the leg up and behind. As it comes up, try and touch your toe with your hand and use that full range of motion. So swing the leg out behind you to open that hip flexor. Again, just trying to do a little bit more with each swing, a little bit higher out in front, a little bit further out behind you. And we're going to swap over to the other leg. Now use the wall again for balance. I've not got the wall this time, so I'm just going to use my arms as a bit of a counterbalance. Try to do it on one leg. These are great dynamic hip openers, really gets things opened up and warmed up at the same time, so perfect before you start your run. And when you've done about 12 to 15 of those, we're just going to move on to some hamstring windmills. So legs just slightly wider than shoulder width, arms out at the sides, and you're going to come down towards the foot, hinging at the hips, and you're just going to go from one side to the other, just windmilling the arms, trying to get as low down as you can, and trying to reach a little bit further down with each swing. You should find that after about 10 on each side of these, you will start to reach further and further down as those hamstrings and the back loosen up. Okay, great, that's the hamstrings and the hips just loosened up a little bit and warmed up. We're just going to get a little bit deeper into some of these positions now on the floor. So we're going to come into this half kneeling position, this kneeling lunge. I'm going to drop our body weight over that front knee just to get a bit of weight on there. And we're going to just start moving around using that body weight to deepen the stretch. You're going to feel this opening up all down the inside of that hip. And I just want you to move around in this position. It's not a static stretch, it's a dynamic opener. So we want to keep moving, stay active. If you keep the heel on the floor during this, that's going to work to open out the ankle as well. So that's an added bonus, which is really good. Always good to work on two things at once. And just move around in this position. If you find any particularly tight spots, just stick around there, move a little bit more in that position. And you'll feel that's just opening the hip flexor a little bit, but we're going to focus on that a bit more now. So we're going to sit up nice and straight. We're going to send the knee forwards, think about dropping the pelvis down and forwards, weight all coming through your hips. And if you come forwards like this, you should feel it just opening up this hip flexor. Once you've felt that and you know you're in the right position, you're just going to come out and then drop back in. And we're going to just pulse in and out of this position, trying to get a little bit deeper each time, thinking about just dropping that weight and relaxing that weight down through the pelvis towards the floor. And then we're going to swap over and do exactly the same on the other side. So that's this half kneeling or kneeling lunge position, body weight over that front knee. And we're just going to move around in this position, remembering to keep that heel on the floor because that opens up the ankle at the same time. And just moving around, exploring these positions. I encourage you to just explore and find where's tight for you, spend a bit more time in the positions that you feel you need to work on. And then we're going to sit up again, thinking about getting the stretch into this hip flexor. So nice and tall, knee going forward, pelvis dropping down and forwards, all the way coming through those hips, in and out of here. Again, even though we're mainly working on the hip flexor here, we're still working on the ankle. It's still opening the ankle out and it's still opening the inside of this other hip. So it's full body mobility really, rather than just an isolated stretch. And then we're just going to finish off with some simple knee rolls. So sitting back, knees out to one side like this, sitting back on the hands, and we're just going to roll the knees over one side to the other. Just introduce a bit of rotation there. Just try to be as smooth and flowing as you can as you're doing this. Feel those hips really opening up and loosening as you're moving from one side to the other. Okay, fantastic. So your hips should be nice and loose now. If you're doing this before a run and you're heading out of the door, have a good one, hope you crush it. If you're doing this in between your runs, then it should still be great to see how well your hips loosen up in between, and then when you next go out for your run, you might notice that things are a bit looser, things are feeling a bit better. If you do find this useful, please share it around. Really appreciate everyone that's liked and commented and shared these videos. So give it a share, like my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next episode.